Number Math, Chapter 11, Business Math, Chapter 11, Part E. I'm using Practical Math Applications, 3rd edition by Burton and Shelton. And it asks that we determine the finance charge using the average daily balance method. It says John Richard's charge account shows an opening balance. So he opening balance started with $500. And that was on July 1. He made a payment of $180. Okay, so that brought his balance to 500, $320. And that was done on July the 10th. And then purchases, so he added $175. So plus $175, which brings it to $495. That was done on July the 15th. And that was the amount, $495, is the amount that was in effect on the last day of the billing cycle. It tells us also that they had an annual percentage rate of 18% is applied. Okay, before we go into actually calculating this, I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about what you're doing here, because we do a lot of work to find out that average daily balance. The average daily balance is pretty much just what it says. It's taking the average over a full month. So over the month, the average balance you had each day was what? And in order to do that, let's consider a month usually has 30 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just go to 10 days and we'll get the average over 10 days. Credit cards don't change that much. So let's say we had 100 on day 1, 2, 3, and 4. We made a payment of $50, so that changed our balance. Now we had a $50 balance, and then let's say we bought something on the 9th, so that changed it to 70. So to get an average, you add all of the days. So I would add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would take 600 plus 140. So I would get 740. And then I divide it by the number of days. So 740 divided by 10 tells me that on the average day I had $74 in the account. And that's spaced over 10 days. I could do it that way. Another way I could do it is to say, I need my eraser to be a little bigger, don't I? Is to say I was at 100 for 4 days, I was at 50 for 4 days, and I was at 70 for 2 days. That makes it 400, 200, and 140. And then I add those up, and that gives me 740. And then I divide it by the number of days, or divide it by 10, and it still gives me 74. This way, using the multiplication, is 10,000 times easier, especially when we consider we're usually doing 30 days. So that's the way that we're going to do it. That's what we're doing when we're breaking it down by each day. So let's go back now. I'm going to try to take this section and we're done with it. Okay, from July 1 to July 10th, but not including the 10th, we were at $500. So 500, we were there for 9 days. And I can count it with you. The 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. To the 10th, but not including the 10th, is 9 days. So we'll have 500 times 9. Whoops. Okay. We were at 320 for 5 days. We were there the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, and it changed on the 15th, so not including the 15th. So for 5 days, I had a balance of 320, and then the remainder of the time, I had a balance of 495 days. So I need to find out how many days there are in July. So 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. So there are 31 days in July. Now I can say there are 31 days. I've already accounted for 9 days and for 5 days. That means 17 days are left. Now all I have to do is my multiplication. For 9 days I was at $500, which makes that 4,500. For 5 days, I had a balance of 320, which makes that 1,600. And then for 17 days, I had a balance of $495, which makes that 8,415 days. Now I add all my days together, which makes it 4,500, 1,600, and 8,415. So 14,515. I divide that by the number of days in that month, which is 31. And that tells me that I had $468.23. So $468.23 is my average daily balance. So on the average, I had $468.23 on that account. Now, I only find the average daily balance so that I can apply my finance charge. My finance charge was given to me on an annual percentage rate. So all I have to do is divide that by 12. So I take 18 divided by 12. So I have a 1.5% monthly percentage rate times 1.5%. I'm only finding my average daily balance so that I can find out what my finance charge is. So $468.23 times 1.5%. And so my finance charge is $7.02. So $7.02. That's my finance charge. Now, my new balance, a lot of people make the mistake of going to your average daily balance and adding your finance charge to your average daily balance. Well, if that were the case, we would all keep a zero balance all the way through. On the last day, we would buy whatever we wanted. And then on the average, we would come out pretty low. And that's what our finance charge would be. And then we would add that to our finance charge. That would be our new balance. That's not how it works. Instead, they take our average daily balance just to calculate our finance charge. They take that finance charge and add it to the balance that you had on the last day of the month, which was 495. So my new balance is going to be the balance that I had on the last day of the month, which is 495 plus my calculated finance charge of 702, which gives me a new balance of 502.02. Okay. If you have any problems with that, be sure to let me know and I'll be glad to go over it with you.